Hey everybody!
How's it going?
You guys, tonight we're going to be talking about, well, first of all, before we started talking about it, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever wondered sometimes how come your numbers are dipping in your business? How come you're not hitting that level that you want to? Okay? If you're like many entrepreneurs, you might need to revisit this one thing. And that is what we're going to be talking about tonight.
Yes, and you guys, and this is something that is important to revisit more than one time.
Yep.
We've done a couple trainings where we've talked on a couple things where we've said you might need to revisit this in your business. And some of you may be thinking, well, I just want to do it once and then that's all I need to do. Okay, as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, you've constantly got to revisit certain things. Make sure you're in alignment with who you are, what you stand for as your brand. Okay, but also,
because just to preface this real quick, sometimes you may be you're headed toward this certain result that you have for your life, for your business, and you're headed in that direction. A lot of times we don't realize that we tend to, those slight things will tend to veer us off course. Okay, it's like a GPS. If you get off, and you're not paying attention to it, you're going to end off. Those little incremental changes will make you way off course, excuse me, by the time you finally get to that end result. And you suddenly look back and you're like, whoa, that's not where I intended to go. The point here is you need to revisit these often so that you make sure you're on course. You're in alignment with what it is that you're wanting to achieve. Not to mention life changes, things change, and you need to revisit to make sure that you're headed in an area that you actually want to go.
Again, and a nice rule of thumb, you guys, is to look at these quarterly. Okay, every 3 months, take a peek, make sure you're on track. So that you're not doing a bunch of catch-up work like Tim was just talking about. You don't all of a sudden
back on course.
You pop your head up and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so far off here. Okay, but it helps to give you a gauge of, again, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly tasks, things to do as you're building out your time blocking. Sorry, the word just totally escaped me. Schedule. Okay. You have an ability to build these things in. They're already in the calendar so that you can just, do a quick check to make sure you're on point. So one of the things that we find often, again, we're working with clients. Number one, this is something that they struggle getting clear on in the first place. And secondly, it can kind of morph over time as they develop their skill sets. Okay. And the question is, and the one thing that we're talking about today, you guys, is your target market. Okay. Who is your target market? It is one of the most complicated, it seems like, for people. It's very simple, but it seems to be, they make it more complicated. And we've done the same thing, okay? With, who am I talking to? Oftentimes we've worked with a lot of marketers where they have multiple products that they're selling to multiple people and they feel like, well, it's a fit for everybody, okay? And maybe you can relate to this. Maybe you have a clothing line, like, well, everybody wears clothes. Yes, but who wears your clothes? Or who do you want to wear your clothes? Okay, or in your health and wellness industry, and everybody can benefit from better health. Absolutely true. Yet, who are your products better suited for? Okay, so you see where we're going with a target market can be a very expansive thing, and it can get a lot of people stuck in overwhelm. We've been there. We have been there.
Yes.
We have really been there before.
Our target market has actually shifted. A couple times.
And within the shift, there's a couple little nuances there. Okay, so it's just, again, if you caught our previous training where we talked about, the 4 elements to consider, the fundamental bedrock of who you are and what you're wanting to create and achieve and what money means to you, that exercise, this will really help you fine tune who your target market is. And also making sure that who you're targeting, your target market, is in alignment with the other things. So these things are kind of like building on each other. Okay. So you
also, the key to this is, one important thing is also to be very specific. Okay, being very specific with who that person is. Because like Becky mentioned, okay, yes, everybody wears clothes, right? Okay, but who wears your particular clothes? Okay, maybe you're selling a very specific brand or a very specific style. Who are those people out there that actually are interested in your particular style, your particular, cost range, those kinds of things? Getting very specific with the people that are interested in the product that you have is important and specific, because if you're talking to everybody, if you're just throwing it out there like, oh, everybody wears clothes, I'm talking to every single one of you out there, you're actually talking to no one.
Because I can guarantee you that if you're selling shoes, and specifically like high high-end shoes or high-heeled shoes,
Yep.
he's not going to be a buyer even though he wears shoes, okay? He may buy them for me.
I might on a dare, but let's be honest, I'm not your target market.
And I bring that up kind of as a funny a little bit, just because it's important to know who you're speaking to,
Yep.
okay?
Because if you're speaking to everyone, you're speaking to no one. You guys, it's important to speak. If you're speaking to one, you're speaking to everybody.
So being able to be clear on your target market is the group, okay, the demographic. Am I speaking to women? Are they ages 30 to 42? Am I speaking to men that are in their 20s to 27, okay? Who is it that I want to talk to? Who's that perfect customer or that perfect business partner, okay? That person that you really want to attract with your branding, with your products, okay, your consumables. All of those different pieces is extremely important, because once you're clear on who, then you get to go a little bit deeper, okay?
Well, the great thing is like I said, if you speak to the one, suddenly you're speaking to everyone. And what I mean by that specifically is when you speak to that person, you know, you're selling high heel shoes and you're speaking to that gal who is interested in high heel shoes, all the other ladies out there that love or that are on that same wavelength, okay, that same train of thought, that love those shoes, are suddenly, you're speaking to them. So suddenly they're all coming forward, okay?
And that's very true. And it's,
you attract those people.
And it's cool because you get to take it one level deeper. So now we're talking to ladies who have, you know, they love a shoe, okay? A specific type of high heel shoe. Maybe it's a stiletto, maybe it's not. Maybe it's a chunky heel, okay? There's a lot of ways we could go with this, okay? But the point is once you know who you're talking to, you get to do a little bit more research and find out what it is that they really want, what they're struggling with, what their needs and desires are, okay? And you can start fine-tuning how you can help them. Okay? And if you know who they are, you know what they're struggling with, you know how you can help them, it gives you a lot of great background information so that you can actually speak to them and help them understand how come you are a resource for them.
How many times have you guys watched a commercial or an advertisement or something where somebody is training something and suddenly you're like, oh my gosh, I swear it's like as if he's, you know, I've never met this person before, but he's speaking to me. Like he's totally speaking my language. You guys, he's done this exercise, okay? He's researched his target market, okay? And he's looked at, okay, what are these people struggling with? What do they need? What are they interested in? He's done the background research. You just happen to be drawn to it because you're interested in what they have.
Yes. So if you don't know what your people are struggling with or what you can help them with, can you help them? The short answer to that is you can't. If you don't know about them, you don't know what's going on in their world. If you haven't spent the time to find out, you're just guessing. Maybe my product will work. Okay? If you've done the background fundamental research, you still have that testing piece where you're going to say, okay, we'll see how well this is received, but you have a higher probability of getting the response you want because A, you know who they are. You know where they hang out online. You know what kind of things they're consuming. You've known what they've purchased before. And you also, more importantly, what have they purchased before, but what is it they're still lacking? How come they're still seeking? What is that void in their life, in their world, that they're looking to fill? Okay, are they tried a million diet plans, but they're still struggling to lose the weight that they wanted to? Have they been buying so many stilettos and they love them, but their back hurts, and you have this really cool insert in your shoes that is going to help them? Okay, it's that unique selling point that makes you different, and the purpose and the reason that they're going to purchase from you is because you fill whatever that piece is that they're still missing. They're seeking it. They're looking for it. Okay? And you just happen to have the answer, but you don't know what answer you have unless you've done the deeper work on your target market to find out how you can serve them. Okay? And being able to serve them is what helps them feel like you get them. How many of you love it when you're working with somebody or you have a relationship or you've gone to a store to buy something and you feel like that person just gets you? Okay, Tim was talking about this a little bit before. They understand exactly what you need. You saw the infomercial. You saw the ad on social media. Okay, you walked into the store and there was an end cap of exactly what you needed and you're like, oh my gosh, this store gets me.
They get me.
This is totally what I needed.
People want to feel understood, right? And it's about the experience that they have. And if they feel understood and they feel like when they, hear your information, or when they walk into your store or whatever that is, and they feel like they're understood and, hey, they get me, they're more likely to come back again.
Yes. You guys, feeling understood and having that connection is what causes people to buy. Like, they get me, they hear me, this is the perfect thing that I need, or it's pretty close to it, so I'm going to try this out, okay? You are become a resource and a solution for the problem that they feel that they have, and they're willing to take risk on you, okay? They're willing to risk their financial investment in you and your product or service because of how you have communicated that. And if you're clear,
they feel in alignment with you.
And if you've done your work on your target market, it's much easier to be able to communicate to them that in a very effective way. Okay, because now they know, oh my gosh, this person is the bomb because they totally get my weight loss journey, or this person is amazing because they totally get my fashion sense, or this person's amazing because they totally get what I'm going through. And I believe that they can help me overcome these challenges. Okay, so whatever product or service that you are, dealing in, from fashion to health and everything in between, you have an ability to really make an impact in their world, but you've got to do the work first and get clear on who your target market is so that you can serve them in the best way possible.
And then asking the deeper questions, what do they struggle with? Okay, what can they benefit from? Those, asking yourself questions about that specific target market will help you be able to relate and to just, it helps your customers come to you. Because they will be in alignment and have that relatability.
Know, like, and trust is essential, especially in the digital space. Okay, it is a researcher's market, and so if you are not doing the work on the front end to help them feel like you get them, they're going to find somebody else that has a better price point, or they may just blow you off entirely because they don't feel that connection with you. Okay, so it's important for you to do your research and then speak to the things that you can actually deliver upon and how you might actually be able to provide service to them so that they feel like you understand them, they've been heard, understood, because that ultimately is the only way that they're going to buy from you. If they perceive that they have a hole, they're lacking something, and you are that answer, then they will buy. But if you haven't got the groundwork there, it's going to be a lot more difficult for you to hit the goals or the results and the numbers that you want in your business, because you're not getting the clientele in because they don't feel like you even know what it is that they're dealing with. Okay?
You guys, we appreciate you spending some time with us. If you haven't already, make sure you follow us, you like us, and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the further trainings that we do, or that way you can actually catch the ones that we already did if you missed them. So you guys make sure you go ahead and do that. And also, remember, be curious, be bold, take action, and remember that it is choice, not chance.